Shalom. All praises due to Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai. Double honors to the elders of Great Millstone. And blessings to all you brothers teaching in truth and sincerity throughout the four corners of the globe. Bringing out this truth, It's going to be a quick little article sit down about Russia becoming the new power, so to speak, in the world. And I think that was the whole ploy of the Crimea situation, just to take the reins of power from the U.S., which is the first move to bringing down a nation or slash empire or kingdom. Um, just going to start out with this. This is the Russian Prime Minister warns Obama is bringing the world to the brink of a second Cold War that nobody needs. Russian Prime Minister Dmitry Medvedev has blasted the Obama administration for bringing the world to the brink of a second Cold War that nobody needs. This is the guy right here, done earlier this week. In a videotape interview published Tuesday, he told Bloomberg Television that we are slowly but surely approaching a second Cold War, in part because President Barack Obama could be a more tactful politicians. And I guess that's to go to say that strategically moving on the board of politics, he's not a good conveyor of that. Let's be honest, those sanctions are a sharp knife for European business because Europeans are not going to chime in on the sanctions that he's trying to proclaim, because Russia is one of their business partners. Russia supplies them with gas and oil. It's a major commodity, and they're not going to upset that for America. He claimed, and America business doesn't need them either. The only ones who wanted sanctions are politicians who use them to reinforce their convictions and demonstrate their power. You know, and that's something that America just doesn't have. They don't have any power. You know, they do that to cover up their wrongdoings, and we all know that that's a mercenary job that was done in the Ukraine, planned out by America to topple a government like they did in Liberia, Syria, Egypt, you know, so on and so forth. And in a mafia-like jab, the Russian legislative leader hinted that if he wanted to, he could push back against U.S. sanctions. But there's really no need to, because nobody else is co-siding with them. You've probably noticed that we have not commented on them a great deal or responded to them harshly, he told Bloomberg reporter Ryan Chilcote, although we probably could cause some unpleasantries for the countries that impose those sanctions. Asked about the new infamous reset button that he co-engineered with the Secretary of State Hillary Clinton in March 2009, Medvedev said the Obama administration has unraveled any Russian goodwill that may have existed 5 years ago. Yes, I believe that President Obama could be more tactful politician when discussing those issues, he said. Some decisions taken by the U.S. administration are disappointing. And he's talking about the whole thing in Ukraine, sending in mercs, and then wanting people to side with them to cover up their accident. We have indeed done a lot for Russian-U.S. relations. I believe doing so was right. The arguments that we reached with America were useful, and I'm very sorry that everything that has been achieved is now being eliminated by those U.S. decisions. You know, and I got a script for that, and it's Obadiah 1:7. All the men of thy confederacy have brought thee even to the border. The men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee, and that's Russia. You know, because we had a you know an understanding, so to speak, 5 years ago in 2009. I just read in that article that we was going to be on a money making effort together. You know, that's not so. The men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee, and that's what Russia did. You know, they have stole the world power seat from America. They're no longer sitting in it. And that was evidence at that meeting that they had when Obama had to leave because everybody was paying attention to Putin. You know what I'm saying? And nobody was paying attention to Obama, aka America. You know what I'm saying? And prevailed against thee. They that eat thy bread have laid a wound under thee. There is no understanding in him. You know, they ate our bread, saying that we, sat down and had camaraderie together, you know, when all of a sudden America did that, you know what I'm saying? But this is the outcome of it right here. Laid a wound under thee. And that's what happened. Russia definitely got out of the mix quick with America, and now they have their own appointed seat. You know, there is no understanding in him. And that's just Esau typically. You know what I'm saying? He doesn't understand when he does wrongdoings to people. This is what happens to him. Going on to the next article. It's the article, um, Westman end up isolated if Russia turns east. And it's just, one key point in here is business news. Business News Europe editor Ben Aris told RT, adding that the West will ultimately be playing catch up after its effort to isolate Russia with sanctions. You know? And let me just get the quick point out of here. Uh, I think we're seeing or about to see, assuming that these deals go well tomorrow, a massive change in the setup, the balance, the geopolitical balance. In so much as the West has been confronting Russia over the Ukraine problem, that's the distraction, you know. But Putin said from the beginning that his goal in foreign policy is to create a multipolar world. That means that everybody's going to be in power, you know. He's going to allow everybody to, so to speak, branch out and make business deal. Not this side, but that side only, like America was trying to do. Now he's being kind on his own doing that, as opposed to the unipolar polar world, which is dominated by America. See, they want to set up who can speak to who and who can trade with who, you know. But Russia and China have never been natural friends. However, China has come out very strongly in support of Russia as they showed down with the States. So China always had a problem with us. They don't, they never liked us, period. That's what they're saying. And I think that it's because China is as worried about the unipolar setup as Russia is. Because they're in the BRICS, you know what I'm saying? That's the name of their crew, so to speak. It's Brazilian, Russia, India, and it's not Spain. uh, China. Sorry, that's the BRICS. You know. So the irony is the whole fracas has been to push Russia and China together and to get them to get over their natural mistrust of each other and to become deep and strategic partners. So this is a new political alliance we're seeing. A new political configuration. It's got enormous consequences going forward. Yeah, because now they're teamed up with the Red Army now. That's the biggest army in the world, you know. And now Russia is allied with them. New political alliance. See, that's a crucial word right there, political alliance. So if Russia have a problem, China's going to step in with Russia. And these are two major serious armies right here, China and Russia. You know, Ezekiel 38. Russia is a force to be reckoned with. Should Washington be concerned by all of this? Well, the irony of this sanction is that they've been attempting to isolate Russia to make it a power. I mean, just separate, you know. But one of these upshots of this is the new relationship does work out. Is that it could end up being the West that's isolated, and that's America. In so much as they get to miss out on this sort of boom that's going on in the emerging world. I got a script for that. Go to the blue letter. Slocky. The grinding cease. Ecclesiastes 12:4. Slocky. And the door shall be shut in the streets when the sound of the grounding is low, and he shall rise up at the voice of the birds, and all the daughter of music shall be brought low. You know, and I should have started from Ecclesiastes 12:3. In the day when the keepers of the house shall tremble, and the strong men shall bow themselves, and the grinders cease because they are few, and those that look out of the windows be darkened. Yeah, that's the future of America. It's darkened. You know, that's what I meant to read. Ecclesiastes 12:3. And Ecclesiastes 12:4. And the door shall be shut in the streets when the sound of the grinding is low, and he shall rise up at the voice of the bird, and all the daughters of music shall be brought low. So that's America's future right there. Going back to Jeremiah 50:23. This is the downbringing of America. All it had to do was the power had to be shifted, you know, and the hope of America is dashed now. You know, I don't know what they're gonna do for money or anything like that, but it looks like their business ventures is getting slim. You know, How is the hammer of the whole earth cut asunder and broken? How is Babylon become a desolation among the nations? I have laid a snare for thee, and thou art also taken, O Babylon, and thou wast not ware. Thou art found and also caught, because they have striven against the Lord. And that's what, you know, they get what they deserve, man. Signing bills for gay rights, the mistreatments of the nation of Israel from the jump, you know what I'm saying? Ill dealings with people, you know, that's all gonna get them nuclear missiles launched on your ass. King Solomon even put that in the scriptures, you know. I'm gonna bring it out real quick. It's Wisdom of Solomon, book chapter 5, verse 23. Yea, a mighty wind shall stand up against them, and like a storm shall blow them away. Thus iniquity shall lay waste the whole earth, and ill dealings shall overthrow the thrones of the mighty. So all this that you see is going on is simply because of the geopolitical change that Russia has snuck in and taken away. Geopolitics is changing fast, and the Ukraine crisis has pushed Russia closest to its eastern neighbors. With the West continuing to impose sanctions against Russia, Moscow shifts to the BRICS. Just like I said, Brazil, Russia, India, China. You know, as for China, it is unhappy with the U.S. cherished policy called the Asian pivot. And the Asian pivot is them simply trying to cut off their trade with the closest nations to them. You know, that's what you can read that in this article right here, the foreign policy. You know, this is the link right here if you're interested. But it's basically just to cut off, China from dealing with, Beijing, which is in China, from dealing with nations that's close to them. They have to go through America first to deal with other nations. That doesn't sound like a fair treaty or agreement in the least, but that's America for you. You know, it is unhappy with the U.S. cherished policy called Asian Pivot, aimed at counterbalancing Beijing and limited its influence in the Asian Pacific region. Therefore, in terms of changing the world balance, countries are trying to find the strongest partner to ally with, and Russia is one of the most desirable partners that China can have. U.S.-Russian relations have transformed from sour to toxic, but the EU-Russia's relations are not that bad, even though EU sanctions and demonization of Russia do indeed harm both economies. Contracts are frozen, bilateral cooperation is suspended, and European countries are desperately searching for gas supplies, anxious to decrease their dependency on Russia, leaving Russia with some spare resources to trade. They're not leaving because that's their main supplier. So that's not even going to work. That's stupid. But you get the gist of it. The name of this article is when one door closes, another opens. This is in RT, Russia and China. When one door closes, another opens. You know, brothers want to read it, check it out. And then let's not forget you got Russia and Iran set to strike $10 billion energy deal. I mean, Russia's doing business, man, and that deal with China is worth $400 billion. and it's over 40 contracts. I mean, these are hyped up numbers, I believe, but the whole gist of it is to show that the Russians are moving into the driver's seat. You know, and America's taking the back seat. you know, let's see, Job 18:7. Well, I'm starting from 6 or 5. Yea, the light of the wicked shall be put out, and the spark of his fire shall not shine. Talking about Esau. You know, been wicked all his fucking life long. The light shall be darkened in his tabernacle, and his candle shall be put out with him. That's right, that's coming. This tabernacle is here. This is his house, America, and his candle shall be put out with him. The steps of his strength shall be straightened, and his own counsel shall cast him down. Yeah, his strength was his business dealing, his military, uh, you know, so on and so forth. And it should be straightened. That means it can't go no higher. It's flatline. You know how you see the EKG machine, beep, beep, beep. It's flatline. And his own counsel shall cast him down. For he is cast into a net by his own feet, and he walketh upon a snare. Yeah, and the snare that that he's walking on is it's gonna lead to nuclear war, man. The jinn shall take him by the hill, and it certainly has. That's just a trap, the jinn. And the robber shall prevail against him. And that's already happened. Who's the robber in this case? It's Russia. Prevail against him. The snare is laid for him in the ground, and a trap for him in the way. And Russia got them nukes. Iran got them nukes. China, they got them nukes. So, yeah. You better step light, boy. Job was putting it down. He was telling the truth. Terror shall make him afraid on every side. It shall drive him to his feet. And that's where we're going. We're going into this World War III with this. Because America can't sit down for that, man. They're going to have to jump up to their feet. They try to do something, you know. That's a couple more, and then I'm going to close it out. The nakedness shall be uncovered, yea, the shame shall be seen. I will take vengeance and will not meet thee as a man. You know, he's going to meet us. The Lord is going to meet us. You know what I'm saying? He's going to meet what you call America as the nukes, as all types of calamities over here on this side, which we are seeing all that right now. The wildfires, the erratic storms, the tornadoes coming from every angle. That's what part we're in right now. So with that, this is GMS Collage. This was Tada Yoff. First and foremost, the water Yahweh Ba'Ashem, Yahweh Shai, for letting me bring out this truth the best way that the Spirit would allow me. And you brothers stay up, man. Shalom.